Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. There we go. There's the market bell. Just made it in time. So welcome back. Start of a new week. What are we in for? Well, let's take a look. And I do believe there's one chart that all Bitcoin investors should be looking at. So, what is it? Let's see. Welcome. Look at it. It's the first day of 2023. First day. And the U.S. market is looking like it wants to go green. Hasn't refreshed yet. Well, here we go. Dow is barely up, but NASDAQ up almost a full percent, right? So we're off to a good start. But it's only been a minute. But right now, it does seem like more people are cheerful and hopeful now that 2022 is behind us. U.S. market is in green. Bitcoin is slightly higher, 16.7. Overall crypto market cap is up slightly more. So we're off to a good start. But is it going to continue? Is the markets are going to continue higher? Well, that's the big question. But right now, we do know that some of the macro stuff is getting a little better, just slightly. Germany inflation eases. A lot of the inflation reports out of Europe is getting slightly better, just like the U.S. Inflation is coming down. But we will know for sure in a couple weeks because we'll get another CPI data read. Then we'll know for sure if if inflation is really coming down, because if it does, that means there's 3 straight months, and that's no longer a coincidence, right? So that's going to make Powell a lot more dovish. But around the world, we're seeing this. We're seeing inflation easing a little bit, but there's still turmoil, still geopolitical stuff we have to worry about. But right now, it does seem like things are getting slightly better. Or you could argue slightly less worse, if that makes sense. All right, what else is going on this morning? Tesla is getting hammered once again, down 6% because they came out with delivery numbers for Q4 yesterday and it came below expectations. So that's why they are getting hammered right now. And also something else that's happening, and this may set the path in terms of getting a replacement for Elon at Tesla, is this. So the head guy of Tesla China, Tom Zhu, is now promoted, and he is going to be the highest executive right behind Elon. So he's no longer just taking direct oversight of China, but of all regions, North America and Europe now too. So he will be the one that will be over looking at all the deliveries and builds and everything else and the supply chain stuff. He's basically going to do all the day-to-day stuff, like basically like a COO, or you could even say interim CEO, while Elon concentrates on new designs and technology and stuff like that. But many people think this is only happening because Elon himself is too distracted right now at Twitter. So he doesn't have enough time to be paying attention to day-to-day stuff at Tesla now. So this also, I don't know how people will feel about this promotion, whether or not that makes it worse for Tesla going forward, that Elon is no longer worried about kind of the day-to-day stuff, or will investors think this is a good thing so Elon could be more like the creative guy, right, rather than be the CEO, which he has always stated he doesn't want to be CEO. He does it because no one else is stupid enough to do it. That's what he said. So we'll see what this, how investors digest this news. But right now, Tesla, again, is getting hammered at 115, another 52-week low. What else is going on today? Well, today, our favorite crypto villain, SBF, is going to plea, and most likely he's going to plead not guilty. And someone in my live chat has said this is what what he's always done. Even if he does want to plea, he's going to say not guilty. He's not just going to say guilty right off the bat. He's going to say not guilty and then try to plea a lighter sentence with the prosecutor, something like that, okay? Kind of like what you see on Law & Order, although I have not watched that show in like 10 years. But this is also happening. But besides this drama, we know that there's a lot of drama with Genesis, DCG, Gemini, right? And, of course, you got to throw SushiSwap in there. And Zhu Su of SushiSwap recently has been throwing a lot of blame at FTX. Now he's throwing it at Genesis and basically trying to say that SushiSwap was innocent. He was innocent. That everyone is at fault. FTX, look at this. DCG conspired with FTX to attack Luda and STETH, right? And then they took a substantial loss from our bankruptcy as well as Babel, right? They could have restructured then, and then he goes on and on and on, and basically this whole conspiracy thing about how FTX and DCG, they committed fraud, they colluded with each other and brought everything down and this and that. But, you know, crypto Twitter, they're smarter than this. So everyone is basically saying, this sums it up real well right here. Rough summary of SushiSwap. Still on the run, still being liquidated, still everyone's fault. I mean, that's a really good summary of basically what Zhu Su said, right? He's in a position right now. Authorities are looking for him. They don't know where he is. So he's definitely on a run. And now he thinks it's somehow it's going to make it better or what by diverting blame to everyone else except himself and his firm that collapsed, right? Keep in mind that Genesis or DCG lost about $1.2 billion because of 3 Arrows collapse, right? So this whole theory about DCG actually helping to kind of take themselves down doesn't quite make a lot of sense. It could have happened, right? It could have happened, but still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Anyways, so there's that. The drama is still ongoing. Not that SushiSwap could be saved, but let's see if DCG can save Genesis, because we don't want another contagion to happen, because DCG is absolutely huge, way bigger than FTX. We don't want to see another collapse and another contagion spread, right? So there's that. All right, now as for some positive news outside of just contagion news, we got this. All right, so this is about the easiest chart you can read. Basically, I need to move my thing over. Let's see if I can move it over here. There we go. There we go. That looks better. I mean, this is clear as day, right? If you're looking at it like this, there is a strong trend line that has existed for about 6 years, going all the way back to 2017. And you can see every drop we had since 2017 till now has been to this trend line, right? And has not broken. I mean, in 2020, we did fall a little bit below, but ultimately Bitcoin held, right? So this is an important chart. This trend line has held for 6 years now. And so far in 2022, in 2023, we are still there. But why is this important? Well, because just look at what happens afterwards. Every single time Bitcoin stays at the trend line, what happens afterwards, right? A tremendous run up. A great recovery, an exponential move, right? This is why Bitcoin holders, Bitcoin investors, people that are in the space should not be giving up. If you held through 2022, which arguably was the worst drop in Bitcoin's history, 4 consecutive quarters of negative gains. Bitcoin has never seen that in a single year. Never, ever. So if you withstood 2022, which arguably is the worst year ever for Bitcoin, Well, why would you be giving up now in 2023? It makes no sense, right? So this is very encouraging, what we could look forward to in 2023 as we head into the next halving event in 2024, and after that, beyond that, 2025, which will give us some tremendous gains if we're following the previous cycles, right? Right now, also, volatility is kind of low, but strangely enough, gold is actually starting to rise a little bit, right? Gold, the very first store value, has been pretty stagnant for the last 12 years. So recently, it's been coming up a little bit. And of course, you got the gold bugs cheering like Peter Schiff's like, yeah, you know, look at gold. Gold is moving, right? But if you stretch it out, you zoom out, you realize, well, gold has not been moving. But many people, you know, equate that since gold is going up and commodities are going up, well, Bitcoin's next, right? And you can see here, our drawdown, again, going back to what has happened in previous cycles, you look at our drawdowns have been getting less severe. So we had a 94% drawdown in 2012, 86 in 2015, 84 in 2018, and in 2022, 2023, we had about a 78% drawdown, right? So the gold bugs will say, well, look at this, especially Peter, look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's about to go to zero, right? After every single drop, he claims the same thing. Gold bugs will claim Bitcoin is not a store of value, but they ignore the fact that Bitcoin, after these drops, go up thousands and thousands and thousands of percent, which is why if you go back to the last 12 years, nothing, no asset, no investment on the planet has outperformed Bitcoin, and it's not even close. Not even close. So, also, very encouraging why we need to all stay strong, really. And here's the last thing I want to show you guys. BTC percent supply last active 2+ years. Okay, skyrocketing right now. About 47%, almost 48%. 48%. That's a lot. That's a lot. Nearly 50% of all holders has held for 2 years, basically. That's what it's saying. No, I take that back. The percent of all Bitcoin, nearly 50% being held for 2 years. That's what I meant to say. That's a lot if you think about it. Close to 50% is being held. And also, you know, just to kind of give you guys more encouragement, despite the fact that 2022 has been so rough, so bad, right? We are still trending upwards. We're forming new highs and new lows, okay? New higher lows. I'm messing up this morning. New higher lows, okay? So what does that mean? Well, despite the fact that we're at 16,700, it's important to remember that we are still 60 times higher than the 2014 low and 5 times higher than 2018 low, okay? Keep in mind, 2018 bottom, we saw Bitcoin hit 3,000. So if you think 16,700 seems bad, just keep in mind, not too long ago, we were just at 3,000. Even in March of 2020, when we had a flash drop, Bitcoin fell to $4,000. So we're still 5 times higher than 2018 and 4 times higher than 2020, okay? And for those that have been spreading FUD about Ethereum, keep in mind, Ethereum is still up 14 times since 2018 low. Despite falling about 70% last year, it's still 14 times higher than before. I remember in 2018 and in 2020, ETH fell below $100. Yes, $100. In 2018, I believe it fell as low as like $80-something. In 2020, I think it was like $90-something it fell to, right? So if you think ETH has lost all gains, well, you're sorely mistaken, because it is still up 14x since 2018, right? So this is the best way to look at it. Even though we have our up and downs, we still have major crashes. We still have bad actors in this space. But overall, Bitcoin and crypto is still trending upwards, getting stronger with every cycle, and we're forming new higher highs and higher lows with every cycle too. And this is why we stay in the game. Last two things, Lightning Network is expanding as well. Lightning Network, the capacity, the liquidity is growing by leaps and bounds. And now we'll have Bitcoin ATMs utilizing Lightning Network so that it becomes much cheaper and makes a lot more sense, because a lot of these ATMs, the spreads on the buys and sells are so off. Mostly because I think they're afraid that the price changes too much within a 10-minute span, right? But with the Lightning Network, almost everything is processed instantaneously, so you don't have to worry about that. So hopefully, this makes Bitcoin ATMs a lot more useful. I've been seeing a lot more Bitcoin ATMs around the nation, especially when I'm just looking at, shopping at malls and stuff like that. I see them all the time, but I don't see anyone using them. And hopefully, they will in the future. Then lastly, as for SushiSwap, a lot of you guys do use SushiSwap. I wasn't even aware they had two other products. One is an incubator and one is a lending product. So they will be shutting down both to just concentrate on their DEX. Nothing wrong with that. All right. That is pretty much it. Tesla is still tanking, minus 7%. Overall market, let's see if it's clinging on. Yeah, NASDAQ is going up, so that's good. That's good. And Bitcoin is still holding. Man, I really love to see Bitcoin break through 17,000 soon. I mean, we've been stuck at 16,000 for a while. We've been stuck ever since the FTX collapse. Right? Love to see us get back above 17,000 and start making some moves. And today in the crypto world overall, you can see the market cap went up slightly versus last night. Still mostly green. Solana making a big comeback. Some big whale is buying it. It was $11 yesterday. Now it's $12.50 almost. Cosmos making a little move above $10. I love Cosmos. And what else? ApeCoin, Near Protocol, Lido, which is a major DeFi project, going up by leaps and bounds recently. 22% last 7 days. Wow. Flow. Yeah, we got some good movers today. All right, let's do some Q&A. That Bitcoin sound is too bright. I had to tone it down a little bit. All right. Let's see. Elon is too busy tweeting all day. I mean, Elon he does tweet a lot. I mean, there's no reason why he needs to be on Twitter for that much, or that long, I should say. Elon is on Twitter like all the time now, even more so now than before. And I don't think that's necessary. All right, let's see. What else I missed? Crypto Surge, Happy New Year. Same to you. Jared, same to you as well. Cornish Crypto, Happy New Year to you as well. Let's see. Did the Bills player survive? I did look at it. Yes, he did. They revived his heart. Basically, he had a heart attack, I think, on field. But yes, he did. So that's good. Let's see. What else did I miss here? I bought some Phantom today. Have you looked into Morpheus? Yes. Thoughts on them? Not as good as VeChain. Let's just put it that way. Mike George, I don't know if you're just being a troll because I've seen you tweet this or write this a couple times about how Coinbase will buy 245 million of Luna Classic. That's complete nonsense and BS. So I'm hoping that you are not trolling, because if you are, I'll be removing you from my channel permanently. So stop asking nonsense like that. Let's see. 2023 will be a good year for Tezos. You know, to be honest, I haven't heard anything about Tezos or Tezos for a quite long time. A lot of the L1s seem to be awfully quiet recently. You know, one of the things with crypto projects is you still have to inform, right? You don't have to market, but part of informing is marketing, right? You got to let people know what's going on. And if you don't, it's just really hard for people to keep up and stay encouraged and keep holding, right? So that's the difference between a lot of the big projects versus smaller projects, because they just don't know how to do that effectively or well. So I don't know. As for Tezos, I have not heard anything recently about them. Jim and Company, appreciate it. Any new coins to add to your radar? No. No. Right now is not the time to be searching for new coins to add. Right now, you stick with your basics or your base or whatever you're holding. You add to those bags. There's no new coin that just came out of nowhere that needs to be added. Do I like Zilliqa? Nah, not really. I've been neutral on them for quite a long time. They got propped up by their Metapolis in 2021, but that went nowhere. They kind of just like lost. They are L1, but they lost basically all traction versus all the other L1s. So yeah, I'm more neutral on them. Dan, welcome back. Welcome back, and I do agree with you. Any updates on Voyager? None. You gotta wait. I think Binance last time they said it's gonna be 3 months, somewhere around March or April timeframe. You'll have to have a Binance.us account. I don't know how they're going to attach your account with your old Voyager account, but yeah, I haven't heard anything else about it. Derek, I think that's right. January 5th? Okay. Did something fundamentally change was sold? No. Just whales started buying up. That was reported a couple days ago. You just got a whole bunch of whales buying. Is staking ETH on Lido safe? I'm unsure, but thinking about it. Well, Lido's one of the premier DeFi projects. They actually surpassed MakerDAO recently. So is it 100% safe? No, nothing is 100% safe. But Lido itself seems to be a legit project that's been around for a long time. So if you're thinking about staking with them, probably because you want to take advantage of liquid staking. The problem with liquid staking and the synthetic ETH they give you, sometimes when there's a lot of turmoil, they can get off peg. So we have seen that with STETH before. So there's you know, it's not 100% foolproof. There's times where you know, it can get off pegged, and if you need to withdraw, you know, you can't really, because once ETH is staked in, you have to wait until the next upgrade, which is coming in March, somewhere around March, before you can unstake. So just keep that in mind. Who's coming out on top of the gaming sector when the bull shows up? I mean, I don't know. There's still just a few. I still like the platform Gala, even though they have tanked quite a lot, but they still seem like they're in a really good spot because they still have their gaming platform, and they still have a lot of games running, and there's more in the pipeline, and they have a deal with Epic Games too. So they seem like they're in the best position to come out when things come back up. What is holding SOL at this point? Well, there's still a lot of holders, Dan. There's a lot of holders. And is SOL going to zero? No, I don't think so. But something did spur up a lot of buying recently. Don't know what happened, but someone started buying millions upon millions upon millions of SOL to drive it upwards. Not sure who, but some whale did. Nothing fundamentally changed. Why would you buy ADA right now? Well, why would you buy anything right now? You buy when it's low. A lot of people believe in ADA. A lot of people made a lot of money with ADA. So just because it has not moved recently does not mean that it's never going to come back up. There's still a lot of things going on in 2023 for Cardano, mostly to make it more scalable and more decentralized from a governance standpoint. So there are still a lot of things happening. Market has been down 13 months. Isn't it the longest down streak in history? Actually, no. If you look at 2 cycles ago, it was a little bit longer. It was about I forgot, 412 days, 415 days, something like that. We're close. We're close. I mean, Bitcoin already has made history. We had 4 consecutive down quarters in a single year. That's never happened with Bitcoin before, right? So if we prolong our down streak to become the longest, it could definitely happen. If SOL goes to zero, would that cause a contagion effect to bring other projects down? Probably a little bit, but SOL is not. It's not really used in a lot of other chains, a lot of other DEXs. So the whole SOL community will go down, the ecosystem, but about everything else, I don't think there's much. There's probably some, but not nearly as much as like exchange going down. What happens if some regulations doesn't come? I don't know which regulations you're looking at, but regulations, generally speaking, are not good when it comes to crypto. So if they don't come, that probably is a good thing. The Fun Digger. Hey, appreciate it. Appreciate your support. No, I did not, and I don't plan on to, because it just sounds like a total FUD piece, so you don't have to keep asking the same question. If you put your coins in a cold wallet and the exchange goes down, your coins are still sellable. Well, it depends on your definition of sellable and which exchanges you're using. If you have a coin in your cold wallet, you can always trade on DEXs. But if you're looking to cash out and your favorite exchange is now down, then obviously you can't. So then you have to find another exchange to cash out, right? That I'm assuming that's what you're asking. Hard magic. Hopefully all gets better in the middle of the year. I think after the second half starts, things will get much better, but who knows? First half could be good too. We could have a good recovery the first half. Oh shoot. Unfortunately, US markets have turned red. It was in the green. I mean, it's still barely, it's about even, but would have preferred to see it today, having a big green day. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tesla's down almost 10% already. This is horrible. This is horrible. Man, there's nothing that Tesla could do right now to kind of like drive things higher. And even this move doesn't, people aren't cheering this either. I bet Elon really regrets buying Twitter. I think he really regrets it. C. Anderson, good morning. Do you think Polkadot will recover? I think so. They're still one of the biggest L1s. They just started, side chains, in 2021, and they're growing that, and they're still trying to grow out their interoperability with other chains. I mean, they're still working on stuff. So I'd say it's too early to call it quits on them. But they definitely have been quiet for a while. Haven't heard much going on about them. Yeah, I'm still waiting. I thought Elon would have mentioned something about Doge long ago, about some kind of integration with Twitter, but Twitter has been such a disaster so far. He's not even worried about that right now. He's still worried about making money, bring the advertisers back in, because he's down tremendously. Obviously people think that he's spending way too much attention to it. That's why Tesla's going down. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on there. I'm waiting. Yes, I'm still waiting too that he says something about Doge. Doge did, they just created that treasury recently. I don't know who donated, but there's about $5 million worth of Doge in there. Or $350,000 worth of Doge in there. So that treasury will be used to reward developers, but I don't know what they're working on. I don't. There's no roadmap in terms of what they're trying to achieve, so it's kind of hard to know. There's one thing Elon can do to make Tesla stop bleeding, stop tweeting like a child, and acting like their CEO again. Yeah, I agree. I think Elon should just stop tweeting that much. Before, periodically, he would tweet like, maybe once a day, once a few days about SpaceX launch or something. Now he's on there tackling everything. Political news, social news. I mean, still trolling on people. I mean, he's just on there all the time, like nonstop, like 10 tweets a day. It's not helping. There's no need. See, unfortunately, people that are big on Twitter fall into this trap where they've gotten used to getting all the attention. So it's feeding them. And if they don't get that rush of attention, they feel miserable. That's why you have all these Twitter guys that have like 1 million+ followers, right? They tweet nonstop every day. Like nonstop every like hour, every 5 minutes, because they can't stand the fact that they don't have that surge of positivity or negativity or just surge of people responding, right? And I figured that out last year, and I'm like, no more of that. You know, because I used to think about, oh, what should I tweet next? What should I tweet next? I'm like, no, that doesn't help me. Why do I need to tweet so much? Right? I unfortunately think that Elon has fallen into that more and more now. So he feels like he needs to tweet like every 10 minutes. Richard, I'm not sure what you're sorry about, but I'm glad you're here. Man. I'll send you some WD-40 for my chair. You guys complain about the creaking of my chair way too much. Let's leave that up. Should I swap Sol for Matic? I can't tell you what to do. You decide that. But I am a big fan of Matic. That's for sure. They have a lot of things going on. I just covered about them yesterday, last night. They got a ton. They have more addresses, more daily active users. I mean, they have so much, even more so than Ethereum at this point. They are absolutely huge. Is there a Cardano alternative to Aave? I mean, there's a few. SushiSwap. There's another swap. Yeah, there's a few swaps. The only thing that comes to mind is SushiSwap, but I don't think they're the biggest anymore. I think, well, let's see. We could check that out right now. What is it? DeFi Llama? This will tell you. Let's see. Where's Cardano? Let's do. Oh yeah, so here's all of them. I guess MinSwap is the biggest according to TVL. Then man, SushiSwap dropped huge to 4. So MinSwap is the biggest one on Cardano. But they're more of a DEX. If you're looking for like a lending project, it'll be like this one, Optim Finance. But they're very small, only 1 million in TVL, so I wouldn't trust them. I would say MinSwap is the one to go. They probably have liquidity pools. MinSwap. Yeah, they have liquidity pools, so you can earn. You can farm. They have their own wallet. Never heard of them before. Interesting. Interesting. Tesla may drop another 40% this year. I think competition is going to hit them hard. Here's the thing, though. They're still growing by leaps and bounds. Okay. Yesterday, when they released their deliveries, they still grew 40% over last year. So they're still growing by leaps and bounds. No other manufacturer can claim they're growing 40% each and every year. Okay, so Tesla is still killing it right now. And their Tesla network, their supercharger network, is unchallenged by anyone else. No one else is close. So they still have a lot of advantages. And their gigafactories are coming up. The one in Texas, Austin, just came up. So they're going to start mass producing in there. And they're thinking about building another one already, right? So I wouldn't say that you know, they're about to die or anything. The competition is coming up, but the competition is still way, 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 way behind in terms of EV production. Nowhere close, right? All this happened because of the Twitter buy. Had Elon not bought Twitter, Tesla would still be probably at $300 right now. I honestly believe all this is because of negativity around Twitter. Lots of FUD around Solana, but DAUs and transactions still seem pretty high. Thoughts? I mean, what's going on Solana right now is mostly NFT volume. Their DEX volume is very low. NFT volume still seems quite high, but volume could also be faked, and NFT volume doesn't really mean much. So Solana's not dead, but when you have some of the biggest developers on there saying that they're leaving for Polygon or Ethereum, that doesn't sound good. And they still have not solved their network outage issues, which Anatoly says he's going to be working on it. There will be patches that solves it once and for all, but we have heard that before. So they still have their issues. But right now, some whales buying in. Gary Gensler's in the chat. Welcome, Gary. Do you think there's a good chance that we will see alts run up like they did the last bull run, even with regulation? Yeah. Regulations are coming, but I don't think they're going to cripple everything. As much as some people think that the entire space is going to be destroyed by Gary Gensler, SEC, and others, I don't think that's the case. I think innovation will continue, progress, building, adoption, all those things will continue forward. The next bull run we will have will lift up everything once again. Nothing's going to change. The question mark is when, not if, when. So Kathy Wood has been buying a lot of Coinbase stock and also GBDC. GBDC right now, the premium is just way off. And Coinbase isn't doing so bad today, but Coinbase has been absolutely killed since its IPO. I think it's down like 90%. MicroStrategy's up today. I haven't heard much about Ergo. I know they're L1. Charles is a big fan of them. Supposed to be a lot of synergies with Cardano, but haven't heard much about them. Man, that is just not stopping. Oof. What was the entire market this morning? Apple's down too today, huh? Let's see what Apple is. Apple's down 3%. Wow. New 52-week low today. I didn't know Apple was struggling. 1 year ago, they were at 179. They're not that bad. What's their high? Yeah, 179. I still remember pre-split, 2008, I think. 2008 or 2009, I forget which year. After housing bubble, Apple fell down to like 80 something dollars, and they were, I don't know what their market cap was at that time, only a few hundred million, or a few hundred billion. And this is pre-split. So if you take into that, I don't even know what it is. It doesn't even go back far enough, but it was like around right here. Yeah. So that was pre-split and everything else. So that was around right here. At that time, it was like $80. But if you equate it to now, it was like $5. I could have loaded up on Apple then. Like, that was when I was pretty broke, had no money. But after the housing bubble crash, everything crashed. I remember Apple like falling, like people were saying Apple was gonna go bankrupt at that time. I'm like, man, that was a perfect time to buy, but I didn't have any money. But it was like now. If you look at it, it's up what 20x, 25x, 30x since then. Would have been a great buy. Like buying some long calls on Tesla for like next year or 2 years from now could be very profitable. Something about, my wife started doing options trading, and I've started learning a lot about options. There's a lot of strategies you could do with options, but like right now with Tesla being so low, if you just a long call like for 2025, but you can make some serious money. Because I just don't think Tesla is in this position. I mean, Tesla's stock does not reflect their actual like performance. Their performance is actually outstanding, but their Tesla stock right now is not reflective of that. This is reflective of Elon. So, very different. But you know what? With the market, the U.S. market coming down, Bitcoin and crypto barely moved. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see that in the green, but negative 0.06. Tesla was overvalued. Its PE ratio was too high. I even mentioned that before. It was in like the 40s. What is the PE around now? 34? It's about right. Like Apple and Microsoft is in the 20s. So if it falls a little bit more to like 100 or 90, then it would be in line with other tech companies out there. Sid says, don't sell your ADA bags. Keep stacking. That is true, though. I mean, I've shared this story before. Back in the day, 2017, 2018, I could have bought ADA at 1 cent, 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents, under 5 cents all day long, every day. And kind of like right now, or kind of like in 2022, it never moved. It never did anything. I always thought it was never going to be complete. I stayed away from it. Obviously that was a mistake. Cardano tends to surprise people when it starts moving. When it's stagnant, everyone starts bashing it, starts bashing Charles. But then when it's not and it starts moving, it really starts moving, right? So don't make the same mistake. Do you think Matic will ever reach $100? That's more than 100x from here. Probably not. That would give them, what, a 680 million market cap, which is double of Bitcoin right now. I mean, I'll say never say never. It could happen if Bitcoin is at like, you know, a few trillion. It's a possibility, but it's a very, 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 very long shot. And who knows, at that point, in 5 years, 10 years, if there's some other L1 or L2 that replaces Matic and replaces Ethereum, that's a possibility. Nothing will ever replace Bitcoin. But as for everything else, you know, they could become outdated and newer projects take over. You just don't know. But that's very far out. That's very far out. I wonder how many of you guys are actually Tesla investors. I know almost everyone watching right now are crypto investors, but how many people are actually Tesla investors? I'm just curious. I'm going to put up a poll here. Or people just like to bash Elon.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
I didn't mean to show that. That just came up. What exchange do you use for regular stocks? I don't actually use any exchange. I don't use any exchange right now, but I know a lot of people that use Swab, and Swab has been pretty good. TD Ameritrade. I know like all the millennials go with Robinhood and stuff with the options trading and stuff. I don't quite trust Robinhood that much. You know, there's something about, especially now. 7% that FTX owns or SBF owns, what's going to happen there? I don't know. Just don't quite trust Robinhood all that much. It's good in terms of crypto. They're coming out their self-custody wallet. So that's a step in the right direction. But 60% of their profits was from Dogecoin trading. So think about that. So they have been struggling hard in 2022 because people stopped buying and trading Dogecoin. So they're kind of in a world of hurt right now. All right, looking at my poll, only 25% says they're a Tesla investor. 62% says no. 14% said soon. That's a good amount. Good amount. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Overall, we're in 2023, right? This is what we have to look forward to. So stay strong, my friends. Stay strong. Near term, still could be more volatility, but long term, we're definitely heading in the right direction. So I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.